Federal High Court in Abuja has ordered the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, to appoint an independent counsel to probe cases of electoral violence and other electoral offenses against state governors and their deputies during the 2023 general elections. Justice Obiora Egwatu made the order while delivering judgment on a suit filed by the Socio-Economic Rights and Accountability Project, SERAP, seeking to compel INEC to investigate and to identify suspected perpetrators of electoral offenses and their sponsors to ensure their effective prosecution. The judge also held that the electoral body should hold state governors, their deputies, and others responsible for cases of electoral violence, bribery, vote buying, and conspiracy during the 2023 general elections. The court also ordered INEC to prosecute all arrested offenders in the general elections. We're now being joined by Arise analyst Dayo Sobowale for his perspective on the court order and conspiracy during the 2023 general election. Good afternoon, Mr. Sobowale. Thank you for being here.
It's a pleasure being here as usual.
Great to have you as always.
Right.
And we know that when it comes to crime investigation, one of the major factors is to look at the first 48 hours within which that crime or potential crime has been committed. Now, when you look at how much time has passed since these allegations were made, do you really think now that INEC is being compelled to make these investigations or carry out these investigations that they will make significant progress?
Yes, we are talking of ordinary crimes. This is a political crime. And I'll give you an analogy to show you it's different. Somebody wants to observe that if an armed robber wants to kill, he cannot kill 100,000 at a go. But when an INEC officer commits electoral fraud, millions are being disenfranchised. So it's an ongoing issue. And I want to commend SERAP. Even the judge commended SERAP for their patriotism, for coming out to object to the fact that if INEC is not doing this sort of function, checking electoral fraud and violence, then they will not be able to enjoy their right to enjoy the dividends of democracy. That if democracy works well, if there is electoral integrity, and the right leaders are elected, there will be political development, socio-economic development. So that's my first take on that. I commend SERAP. And you see, it is not peculiar to Nigeria. People want power by all means. They flout the rules. But what SERAP is doing is to go after the governors and deputy governors. But there's machinery on the ground between the police, the Nigeria Bar Association, and INEC. They are already prosecuting people who are involved in fraud. And again, I will commend the NBA because it has supplied lawyers to work free on that. And they are doing it all over the country. But if SERAP insists on the Lord of the Manors being prosecuted, that is the governor and the deputy, it must have seen something on the ground. And I advise INEC to take that advice if it is within its constitutional right. Get me? And not flout the floor in the process. But electoral integrity is crucial to whatever you want to do in a democracy. Let's leave it at that for now.
Right. Now, this order is for INEC to conduct these investigations. Does INEC have the capacity, and what are the structures that need to be created around INEC moving forward so that there's the capacity within the organization to not only investigate these offenses, but to prevent them as well?
It can investigate, it can prosecute. It has the powers. And you see, the pace of prosecution matters. The timing, like she tried to bring it on, matter. The timing matters a lot. But at the same time, you see, the law must follow due process. Get me? Although there's a saying that justice delayed is justice denied. And like you said, like I said, petty crime. See, in political situations, I doubt if there will be any evidence on the ground. Because people stole ballot boxes, the main people, the results have already been published. Some people even go to court and appeal. A famous case everybody knows. At the Court of Appeal, then the Supreme Court. And they take into consideration so many issues that at times, politically, elected officers make an ass of the law. But what SERAP is doing, I say it again, is commendable. And it's not peculiar to Nigeria. For example, now, when I saw the riots in Kenya, and I saw people, the Kenyans are luckier than us. They have never had military intervention. But they'll be more violent in their own politics than us. Get me? But the place is fairly stable politically. The present President Ruto and the one before him, both of them were taken to the Hague for electoral violence in some elections. But before they could go and face trial, they were elected president and vice president. And so no witnesses showed up at the Hague. So the prosecution was not done. So electoral violence and malpractices, make a mockery of democracy at times. But we must never relent. We must never relent in punishing those who are involved. But deterrence has to be shown that it is not business as usual. If you commit fraud to get to power, you must be punished. See, although the law is in place that the courts will take action up to Supreme Court, but this challenge is to INEC itself, and like you said, to act within its powers. Get me? To create a special counsel. They've done it, it's ongoing in the US for Trump and all these people. Although one famous one now, they said the Attorney General did not have the power to appoint that man. That is only the legislation. Get me? So the rudiments of the law are there to assure us of electoral integrity. But then the interpretation can be funny at times. Get me? But the intention of SERAP is commendable, and I doff my hat to the judge who has given INEC the go-ahead to sanitize our political system.
Fantastic, Mr. Sobowale. In just a minute, of course, you said that we should not relent in punishing those who are involved in such that's been alleged. But in your opinion, what legal or constitutional hurdles might INEC encounter while carrying out this investigation, especially if it comes to potential nullification of election results?
INEC cannot, at its own level, can nullify. But people have a right to seek redress in the law courts. So it is, INEC has enormous powers. It has enormous powers. And you can see it has some staying power. Because after the last election, the INEC body is still there. Get me? And they are replacing those who are retiring. So it depends on the nature of the political system and the political culture. Like I said here sometimes, I said rigging is part of our own culture. This is part of the things that we call rigging. If people are sent to jail, you get me? Long terms for rigging, they will know that we have no business buying power at the expense of all of us. That's it.
All right, very well said. Thank you so much for engaging us on this discussion, Mr. Dayo Sobowale. This has been insightful.